Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Look at you.
So we've made it to the year 2025 and the Diddy news can't stop, won't stop. There's a new documentary coming out on Peacock later this month entitled Making of a Bad Boy.
I think Sean Combs can get away with anything.
You got me acting crazy in front of all these people.
Something is not right with this.
And I can show you how we have fun and stay out of jail too.
Now, the lie detector test determined that was a lie because Diddy has not been able to show anyone else or himself how to stay out of jail. Now, Diddy, who has been in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since September of last year, was denied bail 3 times, and just recently, we heard that he had a meltdown while in prison during the holidays because he was not able to get out and be with his family. Now, in a recent letter dated yesterday, Judge Arun Subramanian responded to Diddy's request for a hearing and other relief regarding his 4th and 6th Amendment right being violated during the BOP sweep at the detention center. Judge Subramanian is wanting affidavits from not only the prosecution, but as well as the investigators stating each of their roles in this sweep to make sure no violations were had. Now, I also want to update you on Miss Anna Kane. Now, Anna Kane was the Jane Doe from 2003 that accused not only Diddy, but Harve Pierre and a third assailant of trafficking her via jet, taking her to New York, and essaying her. Now, according to Anna Kane's attorney Douglas Wigdor, who happens to also be Cassie's attorney, the defendants were in talks of a settlement. However, they want to see some discovery first. Now, what innocent individual says, I have no problem with paying you for what you're accusing me of, but I want you to show me a little bit of the proof that you have first.
Does that mean he's guilty?
He did that shit. He's guilty as fuck.
We're going to get into this story and so much more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding these stories and so much more. Now let's get back into it. Now, there is a 90-minute documentary special that will premiere on Peacock January 14th, promising to provide crucial insight into the forces that shaped Combs and may have made him a monster. Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, features interviews with one of Combs' childhood friends, his former bodyguard, and a winner of Diddy's music competition series, Making the Band. Plus, producer and singer-songwriter I'll Be Sure, who was at Uptown Records with Combs and dated Kim Porter before him, speaks out about his former label mate. The doc also includes new footage of Diddy partying both at home and in the studio. Now, an anonymous interviewee in the trailer says, I've been with Sean for quite a while and I've captured a lot of moments. Anytime a studio or any room is red, he's making love and sex. Some of the ones who went in the room, for sure, they were underage. Now, while Diddy has lost a lot of fans after many people saw what he did to Cassie Ventura on tape, I can understand why this man is starting to feel overwhelmed. He has case after case coming after him, documentary after documentary being posted, and there's absolutely nothing he can do about it because his hands are tied. Now, we're all innocent until proven guilty. However, it seems like a lot of these cases are being played in the court of public opinion instead of in the court of law. And if that's the case, your boy has lost already. He might as well tuck in his sheets and tuck in a couple of other things, because it doesn't seem like he's coming home. Now, as you may recall, a special investigator went through Diddy's belongings, took pictures. Diddy's team felt as if attorney-client privilege information was taken, given to the prosecution team. But come to find out, Diddy was writing legal on notepads after the BOP sweep, trying to get the prosecution disqualified before the trial even got started. Now, because of the way Diddy and his team were trying to play this situation, Judge Arun Subramanian saw no foul play via the prosecution. However, since Diddy and his team are now requesting another hearing, Judge Arun Subramanian is wanting to dot all I's and cross all T's. Judge Subramanian wrote this letter yesterday. Combs moved for a hearing and other relief related to search of his possessions during a BOP sweep of the MDC, alleging 4th and 6th Amendment violations. The government responded that the search was conducted pursuant to legitimate BOP objectives and that the investigator operated separately from the prosecution team. In evaluating Combs' Combs' motion, the court would find the following additional materials helpful: an affidavit from the prosecution team stating its understanding of the chain of events leading up to, during, and following the MDC sweep, including Investigator 1's role, and number 2, an affidavit from Investigator 1 describing his role and the circumstances in which he participated in the MDC sweep and the extent of his communication with the prosecution team, including any communication in advance of the MDC sweep or about the MDC sweep. These affidavits should be furnished to the court by January 17, 2025. By the same deadline, the prosecution team should produce its written communications with Investigator 1, if any, for the court's in-camera review. And all of this is stemming from Diddy's team submitting a motion for hearing and discovery on December 4th to suppress privileged notes and any evidence obtained from an illegal search, and to appoint a special master for privilege review instead of the regular filter team that they were using before. Now, the motion also requests the disqualification of certain prosecutors who may have been influenced by access to privileged materials, and to halt the monitoring of Mr. Combs' communication with his defense team, and depending on the hearing's outcome, the dismissal of the indictment. We always say it's not what you know, it's what you can prove, and because Diddy has left so much evidence out there, his team is definitely going to try to go against the prosecution and poke holes all in their stories. If they can find out the prosecution did wrong, if they can find out that this investigator was a part of making sure the prosecution had information they were not supposed to have, he can definitely have this indictment thrown out. Now, with it already being proven that Diddy wrote legal on these documents after the MDC sweep, Judge Subramanian is still the type, and has been the type since everything has been going down, to dot all I's and cross all T's to make sure they can't never come back and say that he was being biased, he didn't review information, he was choosing one side over the other. I can say that so far he has been a very fair judge. Now let's talk about Anna Kane. Now, Anna Kane, who used to be Jane Doe, had to come forward and reveal her name in order for this lawsuit to continue. So on December 6th, she filed an amended complaint revealing her name was Anna Kane. Anna is the ex-wife of Edmonton Oilers hockey player Evander Kane. Now, Harve Pierre, who according to his LinkedIn account is president of Bad Boy Entertainment, is the alleged individual that, according to Anna Kane, approached her at the age of 17 in a Detroit area lounge in Michigan and convinced her to take a private jet with him and a third assailant to Teterboro, New Jersey. Now, once she arrived at Daddy's house recording studio in Manhattan, Kane alleges that she was given drugs and alcohol before being viciously gang-ard one after the other. Now, when the allegations came about, Diddy said, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy." He stated, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, family, and for the truth." And you have to realize Diddy was very upset. This is the 4th lawsuit he's received in a month's time, given the fact that Cassie had just filed hers November 18th. Diddy was stating there was this witch hunt out against him and everybody was just trying to get a payday. That was up until the Cassie tape came out that following May, and he's apologized for it publicly.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
So because of the proof, Diddy had to come forward in that situation, but he never came forward in this Anna Kane situation. He was totally against her using the pseudonym Jane Doe, but why? Thinking that was going to make her retract the lawsuit, it did the complete opposite. Anna came forth, gave her first, middle, and last name, and she said what? What's that? Now, Anna and her attorneys via the Wigdor law firm sent a letter to Judge Clark, who is the judge handling this case, basically stating that they are aware that a scheduling order is currently being complicated by the fact that Sean P. Diddy Combs is facing criminal charges that are currently scheduled for a May 2025 trial. And because of that, the defendants proposed and the plaintiff has agreed to hold off on conducting any depositions until after the criminal trial is over. Now, Anna is suing them under the New York Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, and Diddy and Harve Pierre are trying to go the Jay-Z route, stating that the plaintiff's claims are too old and are barred by the statute of limitations. And they also claim that the case is already already covered by another law, the Child Victims Act. Furthermore, they might argue that Mr. Combs wasn't responsible for what happened because it involved actions by other people, and that proceeding with the case would violate constitutional rights. Discovery has not yet commenced. The parties believe that at a minimum, paper discovery will need to be conducted prior to any meaningful settlement discussions. Moreover, the parties believe that settlement is unlikely prior to the deposition of the criminal charges pending against Mr. Combs. So they're not going to talk about any further settlement until Diddy's criminal trial is over. We've already discussed that. However, on the next line, it says settlement discussions. Prior to the filing of this action, the parties discussed the possibility of settlement, but it quickly became clear that settlement would not be possible prior to at least some discovery. So what does that mean? Before this action was filed, the two parties talked about the chance of settling the matter outside the court. However, it became apparent that they wouldn't be able to reach a settlement until they gather more information and details about the discovery process. So Diddy was willing to settle, but he wants to see what proof they have. So either you're going to settle or you're not. The fact that you actually had conversations about settling but wanted to see what discovery was available before doing that tells me that obviously there's some guilt in the matter. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything going on now in the world of Diddy? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. But before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.